Hey crafty people, it's Tasha here for Trinity Stamps. Today I'm going to be sharing a tutorial for these two mini slimline cards. One of them lights up. I promise it's easy, let's get into it. These are the products that I'm going to be using today. I've got this is the sample card that I made for the release, so that's what we're going to be working towards. So I've got the tree cutout die. I adore this die, it's brilliant. And then this is the mini slimline Celtic knot cover die. Again, it's gorgeous. So I've got a piece of gold glitter cardstock, some vellum, a sheet of teal cardstock, and also an easy light from Pear Blossom Press. So I'm going to start by doing some die cutting. I'm going to cut that tree from the glitter cardstock that I've got, and that piece of cardstock is 3x6, and then I've cut the Celtic knot from the some of that teal cardstock, and again the mini slimline size dies at Trinity are 3x6. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue onto that die cut, and I'm just sticking it down over the same colour cardstock. I think this makes a really super quick and easy background, but it just adds a lot of interest to your background, but whilst still not taking centre stage, if that makes sense. So I'm going to attach the inner bits from the tree cutout, and I'm just using the outer cutout just to help me get those in place. So I've popped some foam tape on the back of each of those little pieces. I'm adding a little bit of glue as well just to help them stick, because obviously there is pattern texture in that background, and also that gives me a few seconds if I don't get it quite right the first time I try to put it in. So I'm just going to work my way from the bottom right the way up the tree. I find that these reverse action tweezers are your best friend when you're trying to do something like this. They make it so much easier, and yeah, just work a piece at a time and you'll get there. So once I've got all those pieces in place, I'm just going to really carefully peel away that outer panel. Might just have to sort of jiggle it about a little bit, and there is our first card front. So on that glitter cardstock, I've added some glue all around the tree and the star, and I'm just adding some vellum to the back of it, and then I trimmed that down. Now we're going to get out the easy light. So as I said, these are from Pear Blossom Press, and they really are easy. So it comes in a pack of 5, but this is the last one from the pack that I have. So it's just 2 pieces. You've got a battery, and then you've got a battery pack with wires and lights on the end. So you just add the battery in, make sure that you've got it so the plus sign is up, and then yeah, you put the battery in, press the button, and it lights up. It's that easy. So I've added some more glue all around the tree and the base of the tree, and added some of that teal cardstock to it, but I have not put teal cardstock over the star, because I'm going to do this one a little bit differently than I did the sample card. So I'm just figuring out where the placement will be for my button. I want it to be so that when you press the base of the tree, that's where the light up is going to be. So I'm adding some strong double-sided tape to the back of that battery pack, trimming it off. Just be really careful. Every time I have scissors near these, I'm like, oh, I just have a moment of panic. What would I do if I cut the wire? Well, I wouldn't have a working easy light anymore. That's what I would do if I cut the wire. So do be careful. So I've attached some to that battery pack, just getting it in place, so that when you press the base of the tree, it will light up. I'm using a little bit of just masking tape, it doesn't matter what it looks like on the back. You're not going to see any of this. So just use a little bit of tape to get the wires down and to get the lights where you want them to be. So I'm just going to have all 3 of the lights behind that star so that it's really nice and bright when it does light up. And then you can see, beautiful. And I sort of have the light facing back away from the star. I just think that's going to give it a softer glow than if you had the 3 LEDs pointing outwards. So I'm showing you here how you can do these easy lights if you are going to be mailing your card, because you don't want it to get there and the battery to be run out. So you just need to cut a little piece of cardstock and slide it in between the metal casing for the battery and the battery itself, and that's just going to interrupt that connection so that if the button is pressed, the light won't be on. So I've added lots of foam tape all over, as you can see, but you do need to double up. Well, it depends what foam tape you've got. My foam tape is just standard, so it's not really very thick, so I've doubled up all of it, but I know you can get thicker foam tape, so just see what you have. I'm going to trim down a card base. So the great thing about the 3x6 size mini slimline is it's really easy to make a card base. Just cut it 6x6 and then I scored it at 3. And when I fold that over, I'm going to have a perfect card base for this size. I'm going to attach the light up panel directly to the card base. But to help me make sure that's all aligned properly, I'm just going to use my MISTI. So I've got the panel, I've removed most of the backing tape, and I've added some liquid glue again. I'm going to put that right in the corner of my MISTI, and then I can use the corner and the edges of the MISTI to help me line that card base up so that I've got perfect positioning. So that's cool. So this is the sentiment for almost anything stamp. I love this little Merry Christmas that's in there. I'm going to stamp that onto some more of that teal cardstock. I'm going to do it twice, so I've got one for each of my cards. I added some anti-static just because I'd been touching that card quite a bit, and with it being such fine letters, I wanted to make sure that I'm not going to get any where I don't want it. So I've embossed that in platinum, and then I'm going to emboss the push from this Papercrafting Magic stamp set onto some vellum. So just to remove that anti-static, I'm just using a little cloth that I have. I'm going to trim those sentiments down into little strips, and then I'm going to decide where I want them to go on my card. So I quite like having this one there, but I want it to finish at the edge of the tree. So I'm just using a pencil to mark out the lines where that will be. Trim that down, and then I'm going to add some wet glue to that and add it to the card base. The card panel, sorry. And I just wanted to mention, I know that I have said before that sometimes my hands don't do what I want them to do. And today, they weren't brilliant, as you can probably tell. My hands are shaking quite a bit. It's very frustrating. It's difficult to get things lined up. And I can get really cross with myself when that happens. But yeah. That's life. That's life with chronic illness, unfortunately. And I wanted to leave it in because, yeah, now, you can see what I mean when I say that my hands don't always do exactly what I want them to do. So I've used just a little bit of scrap cardstock to put just a couple of pieces behind that strip, because obviously the vellum is further back than the glitter cardstock, so just to help it brace it and keep it good. So I added the push on vellum onto the base of the tree where you would need to push. And then in that same Papercrafting Magic stamp set, there is also a pull sentiment. So I've just stamped that onto that cardstock, and then you could just trim that down. But I'm going to be hand delivering this, and also I wanted to show you how it looks when it's done. So I've just pulled that straight out. But that is how you would do it if you were doing, if you were going to be sending it in the post. So there we go. As I said, these easy lights really are easy. I know that they can be a little bit intimidating, but they are pretty awesome. And now I have 2 really fun light up cards. And also I have 2 extras with the pieces that this tree cutout die cuts. I just think it's awesome. I love a twofer. So what do you think of the cards? Do you prefer the original pair or the pair that we've made today that are slightly different colours? Let me know. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And I've got another video on screen that I think that you would be interested in. If you're not already subscribed, then please do consider it, because we have lots of really awesome inspiration here, and we're really excited to share it with you. I hope that you have a lovely, happy, safe and wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.